Ontario's subarctic coastline extends more than 1,200 kilometers from the Quebec border in the southeast to the Manitoba border in the northwest. This landscape represents the last bastion of untouched wilderness in the province and is home to a variety of species whose economic and cultural significance is beyond measure. As land becomes sea, dozens of freshwater rivers make their final descent into the bay. My work focuses on the unique fish communities that exist in the lower reaches of 11 of these large and small rivers. It's along this margin between freshwater and marine environments that we see interesting patterns regarding the influence of both marine and freshwater sources of productivity. 7 remote First Nations communities lie along this margin. The Mushkegowuk Cree and the Anishinaabe-Aski people have and continue to have an intimate relationship with the land and the creatures that call this place home. Many residents within these communities rely on wild sources of food, including fish, to help supplement their diet in place of expensive processed foods available at the local store. With the imposing threat of climate change and industrial development on this pristine landscape, food security has quickly become one of the top issues facing the North. Growing concern regarding contaminants such as mercury and arsenic in fish have spread across this region. However, the harvest of wild fish remains one of the best dietary sources of essential nutrients and minerals which our bodies require. Fish contains a variety of long-chain polyunsaturated fats. These omega-3s and omega-6s have been identified as essential dietary requirements and play a vital role in things like membrane permeability, hormone transmission, and nerve response. In addition, omega-3s such as docosahexaenoic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid have been related to lower incidence of coronary heart disease, myocardial infarction, and diabetes. Therefore, the main objective of this project aims to identify contaminant levels as well as essential fat content in fish from these rivers. Information generated from this study is intended to provide residents with a guide to help them select fish high in essential fatty acids and low in contaminants. Fish samples used in this study were collected using a combination of angling and gill netting in cooperation with local fishermen from the various communities. Early results of the fatty acid data indicate that oily flesh species such as brook trout and lake whitefish have greater concentrations of healthy fats than the leaner flesh species such as northern pike. Some of the most interesting results, for me anyway, relate to the underlying ecology that exists within these river systems, and how things like life history characteristics such as freshwater residency or anadromy can influence both fat content and contaminant loadings. Conducting a project such as this one in one of Ontario's most remote locations is not without its challenges. Many of the logistic and financial hurdles would not have been possible to overcome without the help of the Garfield Weston Foundation in association with the Wildlife Conservation Society. This fellowship has greatly improved the scope of my project by allowing me to include more species across more rivers, which translates into more information on the ground for the people who are making a decision on how to feed their families on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Thank you.